Well, 7 in the morning. This is what I've dealt with all fucking night. These clowns. Am I get in there with them? Yeah. These clowns. Put the fucking fire extinguisher down!
And we're live. I couldn't think of anything good.
That's a real proper intro.
Real intros.
Someone needs to sign you up for the fucking
Radio
original
show.
department.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
you are
Vietnam.
listening to the.
Good morning. This is
You
our
are
first-
listening to the Okayest Show Round podcast. I can't do morning. I can't do voices.
I can do a good voice.
I don't want to
It's
hear
the fucking right time of day.
it. Yeah. We're doing this early. Got an early
Yeah.
bird start.
This is the first sober show. It's gonna fucking suck.
The early bird catches the worm, but the early worm gets eaten by the bird. Are you the worm or the bird, Bryan?
I feel like
I
he's
catch my fucking worms later so I can go trout fishing.
Speaking of worms, I watched the part 1 of Planet Earth 2. I was putting that off for a long time, but I watched it. Have you seen that? Planet Earth 2?
fucking documentary on Discovery Channel?
Yeah, no, it's on Netflix.
It's what's that fucking guy's name?
BBC, David Attenborough.
David Attenborough.
Yeah.
He just narrates animals.
Thought Morgan Freeman did that better.
No, dude, David Attenborough's got a silky British voice.
It wants to defecate.
All right.
No comment.
Don't
You don't
give a
believe
fuck
me?
about the planet right now. I'm just concentrating on my coffee and putting up with YouTube cunts.
Good morning, good morning. It's
Don't you touch my fucking coffee. You're breaking fucking rule 6, bud.
Fuck. We gotta hear your rules one day.
Yeah, you never tell us. You just say we're breaking.
I've got 2 right handy. Don't ask me more than 8 fucking questions with me being awake.
How are you this morning?
Cloudy.
What are you holding there?
It's my little notebook. If I was Eminem, this is where I keep my lyrics.
Is anybody else allowed in your lyrics book?
Yeah, it's full of nonsense and terrible handwriting and improper spelling.
Where'd you get it?
I've had this for like years. I think I got it from school. I don't know.
What is school?
What
To
is
you.
school?
To you.
Accounting.
Yeah. What is school?
Accountability?
Accounting. Accountability. Story of my life. Fuck.
We're so boring.
Yeah,
no
I
one
know.
else does. Alright guys, that's the show. I like how we always say it's weekly, but it takes me way too long to edit
It's
everything.
been like a month.
It's actually been 1 a week so far.
Really?
We've been pretty we were late on episode 2, but it was
Bullshit.
still on the second week as it was supposed to be.
Success!
And then
Great success!
great success.
If we're
not
late by a week, we can just yell it was a leap week.
We still a leap week.
Leap week.
Leap week. Well, now
is
people are gonna
February.
know.
A leap day.
All right, let's talk about some topics. Bryan, you got some topics written down?
Well, I've got a bunch.
All right, let's start with Evan.
Fuck you.
No, shit, I actually had one. Now I forgot what it was.
I've had this fucking dream. I've been
Memorizing?
Just trying to memorize and remember. I
Alright.
wrote it down.
Dreams. Should we start with dreams?
Oh, this
Little
one's
Mac.
fucked. It's really
Alright, let's hear
stupid.
it.
You really got to dive into the
Right.
whole mythology I'm about to throw you here.
All right.
So you're familiar with like Blair Witch, the
Yeah.
remake?
Yeah.
It's that same premise. Like no matter what they do, they can't get out of the woods they're in.
Yeah.
Like they're fucking stuck in like a
Yeah.
time warp or some shit. Well, I was in that same situation. Only I was in a nice furnished cabin. And no matter what I could do, I could go to places, but I wasn't physically there. Like I could go to wherever my family was, and I could see them, but they're like, "Where's Bryan?" They couldn't see me, and I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" I'm getting pissed off. And Kyle was at this cafe, so I just went there, and he's like, "Man, I gotta get a hold of Bryan." I'm like, "I'm right here, you fucking donkey." And then I turn around, the cab would be right there, and I'm like, "Fuck, I'm still in the cab." It's like 14:08. You're out of the room, but you're still in the room.
Yeah.
And so
Was Samuel L. Jackson there?
no, I wish I would have been entertained.
Was John Cusack there?
Fuck no, thank Christ.
I got a great story about John
Potatoes.
Cusack. I hope I'm allowed to tell it.
That guy's a bag of fucking potatoes.
So when they were shooting 2012,
Yeah.
so
It was fucking fantastic.
his stand-in. So it's when they're filming, and so the actor comes in and blocks the scene or runs through the scene with the director, and then once they've run through the scene, the actor leaves, and then the crew comes in to set the scene up. And while they're setting it up, they still need somebody to be there to light and to get all the camera positions.
A stand-in?
Yeah, it's a stand-in. I'm explaining what a stand-in
Okay.
is, which is also
I just had an awesome idea. They should use his sister Joan
for his stand-in.
She's just a traveling stand-in.
But his stand-in on 2012 was a friend of ours, and he was saying that every time you did not see John Cusack's face, he didn't want to be there. So they would shoot his coverage first, and then he would just leave, and then the other person would have to talk to no one because John Cusack just left, because as long as his face wasn't on camera, he wouldn't do it. So his stand-in would always have to come in and be the back of his head. So every single time you do not see John Cusack in the movie, or you don't see his face, it's not John Cusack. There's like scenes of him like running through fields and like dodging stuff, but it's not him.
Fuck.
It's the stand-in.
You know what? That's interesting. It's a good story.
Yeah.
But I've never really been a fan of that guy,
John Cusack?
I don't know how he keeps getting roles. He must have.
Well, I mean, he doesn't. What was the last movie John Cusack was in?
I don't know. I can only name
Con
two
Air.
movies. I can only name two movies I kind of really enjoyed him in, and that was Say Anything.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Say Anything. That's a great fucking
It's just
movie.
because of Peter Gabriel. I mean, they couldn't
Yeah.
put anybody in there, but the fact that they have Peter Gabriel is just like...
It works. It really works. It's a good movie.
I can name quite a few John Cusack movies, and I haven't seen them.
Well,
But which ones do you like?
the other one that I really enjoy is Love and Mercy, Brian Wilson movie.
Yeah, that was good.
Him and Paul Dano.
Ah, I love Paul Dano.
I know. Paul Dano plays
It's a good one.
young Brian Wilson. Like as
What did
he's
Brian
going-
Wilson say? Oh, shit. How's that Bare Naked Lady song? Sorry, carry on.
Right, Brian Wilson is Beach Boys. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I'm joking. No. Brian Wilson. Paul Dano plays young Brian Wilson as he's writing Pet Sounds.
I'm going to make the greatest album ever made.
John Cusack plays post-episode Brian Wilson after he spent, I don't know, however many years in bed, 7 years in bed. And he's
Did he have bed sores?
Probably.
I googled bed sores, and it was so
I'm
disgusting.
telling you, they're
Oh,
fucking
man, it was
rough.
gross.
How did you not know those were a thing? What do you think happens if you lay in bed for 7 years?
I don't
You
know.
sleep.
You sleep, yeah.
You
And you
sleep.
wake up rested and refreshed. No, sorry.
It's like a homemade coma.
Homemade comas.
But carry on, yeah?
I don't know. That's it. That's all I have to say about John
Oh.
Cusack. I don't know why he's so popular. 1408. He was the worst part of that movie.
Yeah, I didn't really like him in that movie.
Alright, so back to my fucking dream.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I seen Kyle at this cafe and he couldn't interact with me, he couldn't see
I like how nobody knows who Kyle is,
Yeah.
including me.
But I could manipulate things, I could move objects and shit. Yeah, that's what I was dreaming, but
But
like,
was it lucid dreaming? Because lucid dreaming is when you're aware you're dreaming, you can control it.
no, this was all in the dream. Like
He was dreaming about being stuck in a cabin where he could leave the cabin.
but I would never actually leave the cabin.
So he wasn't aware that he was dreaming?
Yeah, no, I get all that.
Oh, okay.
But there was like when it comes to when you're lucid dreaming, you're able to manipulate the dream to do whatever you want.
No, I wasn't aware that I was dreaming though.
Oh, I see what
Yeah.
Evan's saying. Evan's saying your actual dreaming you weren't aware of, but your dream within your dream you were aware of.
No, I figured out the rules of my dream pretty quickly.
Did you
Yeah.
incept Kyle?
What?
Did you incept him?
No.
You can set
Kyle was
buy your
there and
coffee.
he was like, "Where's Bryan?" And I'm like, "I'm right here." And he couldn't see me, so I just started fucking rattling tables and shit, and flipping shit, and breaking shit. And cops would show up to this cafe that's completely fucking destroyed, and they're like, "Who did this?" And I'd found some mud on the ground, and I just wrote my name here, and I'm like, "Help, Bryan." And he's like, "Bryan did it." He just fucking got me in trouble.
And then you're there all
He
of a
didn't
sudden
help me
getting
out.
arrested by the cops.
So later on, I start traveling down these fucking weird, pretty cool looking roads, and I see the girl from the convenience store, only she's fucking 2 feet tall, standing next to this child, and she's like, just saying to the child, stop body shaming me. She just kept saying it. And then I woke up.
never had a dream remotely close to that.
I wrote that down. That fucking happened like maybe a week ago or 2.
I'm gonna have fun animating this.
That's ridiculous.
Fucking ridiculous, man. Just saying.
You had another crazy dream recently.
Oh fuck.
The one about me.
Well, yeah.
I think
And this is
Bryan
why
dreams
me and
about you all
Evan
the
are
time.
borderline friends. Because Evan was, I woke up, but I wasn't really awake, and he was sitting on the fucking foot of my bed crying, and he's like, "I've been living with this secret for so long, I can't deal with it anymore," and I'm like, "Oh, it's one of those parties." Alright. And he's like, "I've got to talk to you about who I really am," and he puts on a fucking denim jacket. And just becomes an asshole. And he smashes everything in my fucking room. He breaks everything. Like, fucking throws my DVDs around. They're all over the place. He knocks over my shelf and shit. And he just gets up and leaves. And I'm pretty sure later he probably took his fucking jacket off. He's like, why's your room a mess? Fuck. And I woke up so pissed. I chewed Evan out too that morning.
I was really
Fucking
confused.
grumpy.
He was really mad at me, and I was just like,
You
"What are
should
you talking about?"
It's like
actually
when
do
women-
that. That's fantastic.
Women have dreams
Do you have a
where
denim
their men
jacket?
cheat on them.
Yeah, I do.
And then
Yeah.
they wake up and they're pissed off.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you? Fuck,
No.
it's happened to me several times.
Do I look like the cheating kind to you?
I'm not responsible for Dream Brian's fucking antics.
Well,
I'm not.
So there's
Evan's
drunk
not
Brian.
responsible for...
There's 3 Brians. There's Drunk Brian, there's Brian, and then there's Dream Brian.
Yeah, we've got
Why can't there be drunk
Dream
Brian
Brian
and Dream
is-
Brian?
many shades of Brian.
Dream Brian.
50 shades.
I'm
of
telling
Brian.
you, Dream Brian is probably
I like
that character. Because that guy gets some ass, apparently. He's just cheating up a storm. Can't even get the mail lady to look at me twice.
Mail
I
lady.
need a fucking haircut, boys.
You need a haircut?
Yeah, I look like an ugly fucking Chad.
You gotta clean your pants off, too.
Yeah, I know. They're fucking crusty. I don't know what's on it. It's like old mustard or something. That's fucking gross.
I'm trying to think of the when I was a little kid, I would have this dream where I went to the water slides, and I would go through one of the slides that had a tunnel on it, and I would go down. I would go into the tunnel, and when I would come out on the other side, everybody in the water park would be dead except for me, and I'd just be like stuck on a water slide, just
More
like surrounded by
lines.
dead people. Yeah, right. No more lines.
No more lines.
No, but there was this like monster that would like wait at the next tunnel because I was heading towards another tunnel, and his like head and his mouth would just come out of the tunnel, and he would eat me and I'd wake
What
up.
if this tunnel was the monster itself?
I've had this recurring dream. I actually didn't have it this New Year's. It always happened on New Year's ever since I was a little kid.
That's really fucking
That's
creepy.
awesome.
And it's the same dream every time. I actually didn't have it this last year. Though.
He dreams that it's the 31st, and he goes to everybody and he's like, "See you next year,"
No, it's
and then they crucify him.
I'm standing on a brick building, and then
Crucified.
I'm standing on a brick building, and then I jump off, and then I fall. I'm falling towards some grass and some green grass. Not
Aim
brown
for the
grass.
bushes.
Aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes.
I just jump, and the dream's not very long because it doesn't take me long to hit the ground. I just
Yeah.
keep falling toward the grass, and as soon as I hit, it goes black, and I wake up. It was the
I
same
have
thing
those
for like
all the
20
time.
years of my life.
You have those ones where they like it jerks you out of bed, and
I
like
haven't had
yeah, I've
one
had
of
you're like
those.
shaking almost.
Yeah.
You know what happens? I googled this. Apparently, you just stop breathing, and that's what wakes you up. Is your body's shock. Your lungs are just like.
I've done
yeah,
that.
You got too rested, and your breathing fucks off. It's almost like sleep apnea. Almost they get that all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can die from it.
Oh,
Because
shit.
my buddy James, he's like, yeah, I just got diagnosed with sleep apnea. I'm like, no big deal. Everybody does that. And he's like, no. He found out later. He's like, he took it with a grain of salt, and then he's like, Brian, I can fucking die from this.
My
And I'm
dad
like, you
is-
die from a lot of things.
My dad's gonna go find out if he has sleep apnea. He's got to go look it up.
Yeah.
But I haven't had a dream where I've fallen and like shaken myself out of bed.
Oh, I have. I've
No,
done
I have.
I have.
I used to have them all the time, but I haven't had one for a long time, and I'm like, it was kind of a rush, you know, like it's this insane feeling, and I haven't
it
had
feels
it.
good.
Yeah, but now I don't. Now that I know it's like that, I don't want to have it anymore.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have one
Man,
like tonight.
I have those quite often, so it makes me wonder if just Dream Brian's around just fucking sleeping with a dozen women all the time, because that's what he does apparently, and gets me in trouble, and then just up and fucking kills himself a dozen times. Because I'm always fucking falling off cliffs and shit. There must be a fucking, like, Dream Brian must be fucking clumsy.
Yeah.
Because this happens often. I probably have sleep apnea.
I wonder
Get
if throughout the
diagnosed.
course of this show how many versions of Brian we're gonna meet.
I hope so. I hope we
What's
fill
that,
out the
3?
whole
Is that
50
3?
the 50 shades of
We're gonna
Brian.
all 50 Brians.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a wet dream?
Probably a dozen.
I've never had a wet dream.
I've had a
had
baker's
one.
dozen in one night.
In one night.
I can't fucking remember.
Messy.
It's weird, and I don't know if this should go out there, but I just reminisced on, remember I was like 12, I was looking down, and I was so upset, and I'm like, when you gonna get pubes, bud? I just remember, I'm like, there was one, and I'm like, I was so happy.
Yeah, I
Now
remember
I
that.
fucking can't get rid of them, for fuck's sake. It's a curse.
I thought there was something wrong with me when I was younger because all my friends were talking about having wet dreams. It's like I never had a wet dream, but I guess I think I rationalized it. I think I started masturbating rather early. She was masturbating. 11 or 12, just started.
Cranking her.
It didn't even start because I wanted to. It was because I had sex ed, and it was just like, you're supposed to do this. This is how you get it out. And I was just like, all right, let's give it a go.
When I was a kid, we didn't own Space Jam. My parents used to take VHSs and they would record stuff on VHSs, like what's playing on TV. So my mom recorded Space Jam for us on a VHS, but what she didn't realize is that at the beginning of the VHS that she didn't record over, my dad recorded the Howard Stern movie, the private parts.
Oh, nice.
So one day I wanted to watch Space Jam. So I took it and I put it in the machine and I hit rewind, and it's rewinding, and I would watch movies all the time, and I'm like, this is taking a really, 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 really long time to rewind, because it's actually rewinding past two movies.
Yeah.
So I pressed play. I mean, I must have been like 5 or 6 at the time, and I pressed play, and it's the scene when he has the girl. They're interviewing the first naked lady in the history of television.
Underpants are coming off. That is the first naked lady in the history of radio.
And that's where I played it on. So I pressed play, and it just opens up to a completely naked woman, which is at 5 years old I've never seen before. And instantly I was like, I'm into whatever this is, having no idea. But like,
This is
from that point, when I was like 5, I was like, this is where it's at.
I had one
Whole sexual awakening.
Yeah, 5 years old.
One of those same VHSs, but it wasn't for a sexual thing. It turned me on to movies, like movies I wasn't allowed to watch at a young age. It wasn't a horror film either. Mom was careless with her VHS.
I can tell.
And I think she meant to record over all those movies that were on the VHS.
Yeah.
And just record something for me, because she recorded the live action Pippi Longstocking movie, and I loved it. And I still have really weird recurring dreams about it. Oh my God! Point Break was on it, and it was only the chase scene. So I went half of my adult life not knowing what this movie was, but knowing this scene existed, and I wanted to find out what movie it was.
The chase scene in Point Break's pretty dope.
Man, the chase scene in Point Break is Point Break.
She couldn't do something. Watch out, world. Here she comes, and she's bound to teach you more than what are you kids doing? Pippi Longstocking is coming into your town. No one can keep you down. No, 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 no. The one who's about to make a run. Pippi Longstocking is coming into your world. Spread your face, girls, you wanna know. Throw your life into a whirl.
Welcome to the new adventures of Pippi Longstocking. She's coming to your town this summer.
Yeah, you're right.
That's it. That and the part where he jumps out of the fucking plane with no parachute.
Didn't they remake
Fucker.
that movie?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
with Keanu Reeves? When
Yeah,
he like
they did remake
when
it,
he like
and it is horseshit. I went to that movie.
Wait, didn't Keanu Reeves jump out of the plane with no parachute?
Yeah, that's what I just said
Mythbusters.
with my fucking mouth.
I wasn't listening.
Of course not.
Mythbusters.
Fucking hearing.
Mythbusters did that where they were like, because he survives with no parachute, right? He hits the guy and they both hit the ground.
Yeah, and he holds on to him.
Yeah, they recreated that, and they dropped a dummy out of a plane, and it made like a 4-foot crater in the ground when he hit the ground.
Yeah.
A dummy.
Well,
like,
no, but they pulled the chute. Right.
Did they pull the chute?
Yeah, they pulled the chute
one
like
chute.
they pulled the chute like 20 feet from the ground, and they hit so bad that it actually broke Keanu's movie leg, like his character's movie or like in the movie.
Oh, I thought you meant his real leg.
No.
Oh shit! I was like, it broke. Keanu Reeves.
Johnny Utah. That's the name.
Johnny
I'm looking for.
Utah.
How could you forget Johnny Utah? That's
Man,
the greatest name in all
I
The
haven't
movies.
bus scene in that movie is fucking great too.
What, Speed?
No, the
No,
bus.
I know. I'm just kidding. Oh, the bust. I think
They go into the house and there's all those fucking addicts and shit in there, and fucking crazy, scary Busey's just running around.
Have you seen my dog? I got a little dog I'm missing. It's a cockapoo-like thing.
I
He's
don't
got
know
his
anything about
nose.
your fucking dog.
Gary Busey's in it?
You've never seen Point Break?
No,
have
I
you?
haven't. I just said
Oh
that.
my God.
I just said that with my mouth.
Oh, I have selective hearing.
I'm kidding.
Scary Busey's in that movie, and he's
Scary Busey.
fantastic.
I have a special love for Gary Busey.
Man, I have 100 loves for Gary Busey.
Before you go on about Gary Busey, Brian, what was your sexual awakening?
Oh,
Oral.
the other. Oh shit! Sorry.
Oral.
Oral.
Yeah.
That
No,
was the,
I dated a girl when I was 13.
That was the Cop and Dome.
No, this was early on. I went to her house and we were just gonna hang out. No sexual tension whatsoever. Fuck, I just wanted to see what her room looked like.
Yeah.
And she had like all kinds of wrestling shit on. She loved The Undertaker and all this craziness.
How do you not love the Undertaker?
I don't love the Undertaker. Fuck
fucking
for
hate
wrestling.
Oh man.
And she was a bit gothic, and that was fine.
You've already told this story.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
your-
the same girl, but this was long before that birthday.
Oh, you just told the birthday story.
Yeah.
I see.
And she's like, I got something to show you.
And it's The Undertaker, the World Heavyweight Champion, the Supernatural Force.
And she
And that
undertook you.
Yeah,
She undertook me.
I think there can be a better. I just wanted to get it out
She
quick.
was the groundskeeper.
She gave you the chokehold.
Were you Kane?
That would imply we were brothers, and that's incestuous. Nope.
Were you Vince McMahon?
Man, Vince McMahon is a fucking monster.
Have you
seen
seen
that guy's facial expressions everywhere, forever?
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's one of my favorite memes.
Yeah, he's got a great move that when the things escalate and you just see his face changing.
My God, he looks like he's having a stroke 24/7.
I think
He probably is. He has to manage a bunch of manly mannies.
But based on this VHS, there was that movie, there was Pippi Longstocking, and in the middle there was like cut pieces of Lethal Weapon 1. And Gary Busey was in that movie, and I thought that was part of fucking
Point Break.
So I didn't know. I was only like
God damn.
6, right? So
Yeah.
I'm sitting here trying to piece all this shit together. And I'm like, oh, so there's a part in this movie that I don't have, obviously, where good Gary Busey somehow becomes bad Gary Busey, and he's hunting down these guys who are Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. Who are lethal weapon?
Who are the Lethal Weapon. They're fucking Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where did fucking Keanu go? He killed Keanu, obviously, in a trade, some kind of backstab, and now he's going after these guys.
That would actually be a great
That would
movie.
be a
Gary
prequel to
Busey
Lethal
going
Weapon.
after.
I'm telling you straight up, these movies were one. It was Point Break, Lethal
Brian's
Weapon.
watching movies that don't exist.
That's a good movie mashup right there. Point.
It was fucking great.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't
phonetically,
work with that. Dang it.
But it's interesting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but I can't remember what my sexual awakening was, but I believe if I had to narrow it down to one point, this may have been it. Are you guys familiar with the website Sailor Moon X?
Yeah.
No,
I don't
But
know the
what
website,
Sailor Moon
but-
is.
But Sailor Moon X.
I actually just swiped on Tinder yesterday to find a cosplayer just like Cinder.
Cinder
Cinder Moon.
Cinder Moon.
Cinder Block Moon.
Cinder Block Moon.
No, so Sailor Moon X, if you don't know, was a I don't know if it still exists. I haven't looked it up, but it was.
Oh yeah. I don't think they still make.
It was a hentai site.
I'm looking it up right now.
It's essentially Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball characters fucking.
I did not know that.
The Dragon
I
Ball-
take back all I said.
The Dragon Ball characters have super long dicks, and they're like flying around the page.
They're
and
they're dragons.
Huh?
They're dragons. Their dicks are dragons.
I guess so.
Evan said, "I'm gonna grow up and have a dick like that."
What's a
And then he did.
Sailor Moon X.
No, fuck.
I'm just kidding, Curry.
I remember we were playing in the street as we did back in the city.
Sailor Moon X, the next
And
generation.
this kid's cousin, like my friend, I can't remember his name. He was a buddy of mine. He came and he was like, "Hey, I brought my cousin," and his cousin had this binder. It's just like, "Hey, kids, you want to see some stuff?" And we're like, "All right," you know. And then
As kids say.
he gave us the binder, and it was just full of these printed pictures because this is when the internet sucked, and you
Yeah.
had to like wait for like everything.
Yeah.
Like, and so he had it all printed. Obviously, he was a rich kid who had a printer, and
Yeah.
and he just had a binder full of these porn images of these cartoon characters fucking.
That's
and we were
ridiculous.
just sitting there looking at this for a long time. We're just like trying to figure it out.
They're like it's like the Jimmy
I
Neutron
think
scene.
you just reminded me of what my first my first actual sexual awakening was. Like, it didn't actually happen to me. Nothing happened to me. But I think it was the first time where I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to like girls.
Yeah.
Or I'm supposed to have an adult life.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy found a trash bag full of old pornos.
Yeah.
Just sitting on the side of the tracks. And the bag had leaked. So some of the pages the ink ran together.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
I did find that. It was like we hid that fucking bag for months.
Here, guys, here's some Dragon Ball X. I'll show you.
Oh, God. Gary Busey.
Love him.
Ooh.
Oh, right on.
There's a bunch of stuff like this.
That's really intense.
I know, right?
She does not look like she's enjoying herself.
Get your faces right.
Get your faces.
Someone doesn't know how to draw happy faces.
Oh my god! Look at this.
That's never good.
Oh fuck! Where's it?
Oh, but you're gonna get some viruses.
No, see, look.
That's a good place to put a sword, I guess.
Oh god, I don't want to see anything with swords. I don't like blood.
It's a sword holder. What do you think they used in the 1800s?
We can't put these pictures up.
No, we can. We can, but we'll just blur it. Like the bad
You
part.
mean I have to blur it?
Yeah.
What
You
was I
have
gonna
the
say?
power to blur?
Yeah, I got the power to blur.
Blur my entire face forever. I've always wanted to look like I'm on an episode of Cops.
Cops.
One day I will be.
What you want?
There's a friend of mine. I was working with him, and
I already call bullshit. You don't have friends. I'm just kidding. I love you.
When we would take a break, we would watch movie trailers, and he's like, "Oh, I saw this movie trailer. You got to watch it." And it's for a movie called Candiland. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen the trailer for Candiland, watch it. But Candy's with an I, so Candi.
All right, we'll watch it right now. Just give me one moment.
A few moments later.
Yeah, Scary Busey's movie Candyland.
Scary Busey. Just, you have to really listen to everything. Just listen to the dialogue that is said in this. I've never seen this trailer before. This is not
Candyland.
This is Candyland, but I haven't seen this trailer for Candyland.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this trailer.
Man, I'm curious now.
Go back.
I'm curious to see what your reaction is.
Go back. It's this one.
Oh, there he is.
That's
scary.
The one. This is the trailer. We'll have to put a link to the right trailer then. It's the one with Gary Busey's face, like right up.
Can we watch the other Candyland trailer too? See if it's the same movie. If there are two movies,
it is. No, it's not. It's the same movie because there's scenes from that in it. But so hold on one second before we get into this. I watched this trailer in 2014. This movie was supposed to come out in 2015.
Oh, so it's in production hell.
It's 2018, and I still haven't seen this movie. I think I can see it now, but I think it came out in 2017. But I was expecting to see it at the beginning of 2015. Okay. So this movie, like,
you know, when Peter turned pro, we were on the road a lot. All that time building a perfect future for my boy.
You gotta listen. You have to listen. I know.
I could not handle that.
I know. But you have
to wake half his face up.
You have to listen.
I teach my son when he's 7.
Every time he enters the frame, he looks so surprised.
You gotta start it again. You have to listen. Every word he says is gold.
Brian,
I'm doing my fucking best.
Shut up, Brian.
Shut your lip.
Boy.
Make it a first perfect future for boy.
What? I still didn't understand.
He said he's all I talk about. I know he's all I talk about.
He looks like he just woke up.
He probably did. He's probably taking a nap on set, and they're like, "Gary, we're ready for you."
He's got Macaulay Culkin's hair.
He probably wasn't even in this movie.
It's his stand-in.
Fuck. This is too early, boys. This is breaking the code.
To make choices. That choice is a bad choice.
My head is spinning. This relationship is moving really fast. So you smothered the poor boy, and now you're gonna fix everything by smothering him again?
Oh! I'm not just his father, I'm his everything.
Oh.
Peter, pick up the phone, please. I know you hear my voice. Come on.
Oh, wow.
Father talking. That's your order. Well, make sure you feel...
What?
It won't hurt anyone else, and it won't hurt you. Make the choice in the right way, and you'll always end up in the village of the truth.
Make the choice in the right way, and you'll always end up in the village of the truth.
I'm a fucking fan.
What
Watching this movie on Blu-ray.
I'm
What
sold
a
by what we
line.
just saw. Welcome to Candiland. Jesus.
Line.
This is good, us having a talk like this.
Do you feel it's good?
I want to know how your lady friend in there is doing. This is not an attack.
Did he molest that kid?
Rescue mission.
No. So the kid was like, he's like a military father who was like really hard on his kid. You know, this is from the trailer. What I
Now
got
the
from
son's
trailer.
an artist.
No. So he was a tennis player, so he was really hard on his kid, and he made him play tennis. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like that Michael Jackson, where he never had a childhood. So now that he's grown up and he meets this girl, he's like, I've never had a childhood. Let's be kids. And they lock themselves in their apartments and just do crazy shit that kids would do. And then Gary Busey, the hard military dad, who's like, you gotta stop doing this. I can do whatever I want, Dad.
Interesting. Oh boy.
They're dying in there.
The door!
Open it! Death with honor. And the word DEA.
This reminds me a lot of The Wall.
This is
for
the
some
best.
reason.
This is the best line in the whole thing. Listen to what he says here.
You face death with honor. And the word DEATH stands for don't expect a tragedy here. You don't.
You know that. Bryan's face.
Death stands for don't expect a tragedy here.
Feel death. You don't even feel it when you're dead.
I do love you!
You just move on to a higher plateau.
You don't have You take me!
Oh, fuck. Yeah, dude.
You know what? I'm actually
shit.
I'm intrigued by this.
I'm
movie.
buying this on Blu-ray.
Okay, but look when this came out. When did this trailer come out?
2014.
2014. That's how long I've been waiting to see this movie.
Fuck, I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. This is where my love for Gary Busey comes. So now, every time I see Gary Busey in a movie, I just have
Gary
to lose it.
Busey was a menacing force in the 90s.
Yeah.
He's actually an intimidating fucking villain.
He was a
in
good.
Lethal
He was,
Weapon.
yeah, I was gonna say in Lethal Weapon. That's where my love of Gary Busey started. Where they fight at the end of the movie with the broken fire hydrant.
Yeah.
They just scrap it out in the front yard. I was just like, whoever this guy is pretty good.
Which did you click on this one?
No.
Yeah, that was what I clicked on.
Oh.
I'm afraid to watch this trailer.
Don't watch it.
Okay, I won't watch it. But the thing that I love about it is because of how ridiculous this movie looks. We're not going to watch it. But 1 second.
I don't think this.
Wait. Oh, no.
This movie didn't have to look ridiculous. This is an interesting
this
premise
is,
for a movie.
This is what makes me so happy. Like this.
That's winning a bunch of stuff.
It's
yeah.
winning a bunch of awards.
What did Gary Busey win?
Best actor.
Best supporting actor.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
See, this movie looks terrible. I don't want this to be like if it is like The Room, like it's a movie that's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But if it's actually a good movie, I will also be very fine
happy.
with it.
Yeah.
So I don't like this trailer because it looks like a bad movie. Like it looks like it's going to be a really bad movie.
It looks like it's gonna have one of the best lines.
Yeah,
ever.
it's just like
I'll be quoting it like there will.
You know what? They should have cast Nick Nolte instead of
I agree. I agree. I can see that perfectly.
Like Nick Nolte in this role, because Nick Nolte in Warrior, man, that guy breaks me every time. Like,
if we could find Nick Nolte's character between Warrior and Tropic Thunder, mash them together.
And who's he in Tropic Thunder?
He plays the old fake
he plays
war general, like the guy who survived Vietnam, but he's a fake and he has no hand.
Or no, he has no hands. His hands got blown off.
Yeah, he has hooks for hands.
And his name was
really has hands.
Fourleaf. Lieutenant Fourleaf.
Like, he has so many good lines in that movie. He's
Did
like,
you cry when your hands blew up?
He's like, why did you sleep in the hotel?
Beds give me nightmares.
Yeah, beds give me nightmares. Fucking Nick Nolte.
You gotta take those actors and put them in the shit.
What do you say?
Take them off the fucking grid.
That movie, you know what my favorite part of that movie is now? Now that I work in film.
What's that?
It's where Tom Cruise is yelling at the director and he's like, where's my key grip?
Yeah.
You punch him in the fucking face.
And who here's a key grip?
You. Hit that director in the face. Really fucking hard.
Sorry, man.
Ow, ow, ow.
Punching a fucking director.
That punch is really good too.
Yeah, it was
in
a
the movie.
really
the
good
cut
punch.
that they do to punch him.
Tropic Thunder is a modern day comedy masterpiece.
It really is.
I don't think enough people are talking about it.
No, that's probably I think I've seen that movie more than
I've seen that movie.
I've seen the movie a lot, and I didn't realize that was Tom Cruise for the longest time.
I didn't know that was
and I knew it was Tom Cruise the second I saw him.
Did not know.
I went probably 2 years without knowing that was Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, man,
Yeah,
I knew that.
I did not know that.
That's crazy.
That was just post Iron Man, wasn't it? So I think I was aware.
Like, I thought, because at the end where he reveals himself as Robert Downey Jr., I thought they were two different actors. I swear to God, I didn't dig deep into it. I was like, oh, fuck, well, whoever this guy is, he's coming out strong, and I like it.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, they would never do blackface. They did blackface, and they did it well.
Well, I mean, that's the joke.
Yeah,
the
that
joke
is the joke.
that. But it's not blackface, but it's
It is
like...
blackface.
Okay,
No,
he's
doing blackface. Like, but I don't know. Blackface is a very touchy subject.
It is. That's why I don't think it is, because he's not doing it because they're like, we don't want to have a black actor do this. But because he's so into his characters, you know?
Yeah, he actually becomes the character.
He's Daniel Day-Lewis.
But then, what's that guy's
In the
name?
movie universe.
Brandon, the guy who plays the other black guy, who's like, you're Australian.
Yeah.
Be Australian. I mean, I was obviously offensive to him. I could never put myself in that situation.
I don't think it was offensive to that. Because I think...
Because they
No, I mean, in the movie it was.
It was all a joke. Obviously, the whole movie is a joke.
Yeah, like the cast of that.
I didn't mean in real life. I meant in the movie it's offensive to his character.
Oh, yeah, and they duked it out in the movie.
Yeah. But that props to Ben Stiller, because, I mean, he wrote that, produced it, directed it, starred in it fantastically.
Yeah.
That's one of his best
I
performances.
love Ben Stiller, I do.
Yeah.
I actually just rewatched Envy the other day because I hadn't seen it in forever.
Something About Mary?
What was it?
No, Envy.
No, I know, but Something About Mary.
What was that movie? The Secret Life of Walter Mitty or something?
That's something I didn't watch.
That's a good movie.
I watched the first 20 minutes.
See, I did. I watched the same
Hate
thing.
is a strong word. I dislike that movie.
I don't know. It grew on me because I watched the first 20 minutes. I was like, and I stopped watching it, and then I kept watching it after a while, and I don't know. It just grew on me over the course of the movie. I just really enjoyed it.
I don't know. I thought the ending was a little bit like he's in love with he's like a shy guy and he like lives in his imagination, and then his friend goes missing, so he's like gonna go on a trip around the world to find his friend, but he falls in love with this girl, and then he finds out that she has like a husband, and then he goes on the trip and completely changes his life and just comes back right to that girl and like carries on the life he wanted. Like he did this huge change and then went right back to the same thing he always does. I thought it needed to be...
I just had one of the greatest thoughts ever.
All right, hit me up. Yeah, the smirk on your face.
What if Brandon is living that life right now? We think he's just in his room playing games, but really he's not playing anything. He's just staring at the screen, but he's really just in his imagination and having the time of his life. Multiple adventures forever. And that's why he never comes out, because he's having more fun than we could ever fathom.
And he's not actually a really good Twitch player. He like sucks. In his mind.
The Secret Life of Branders.
The Secret Life of Branders.
Of Branders.
I thought it's actually funny they're talking about this because when you're talking about Tropic Thunder, I thought it was funny because he had the Simple Jack haircut at one point.
He does have the Simple Jack haircut.
Sometimes.
It wasn't his fault,
when it gets
though.
longer.
What's a fake blast?
No, it wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault. He went to go get a haircut.
No, that's
and he's
fine.
like, I want my haircut this way. She's like, no. He cut his hair.
Yeah, he sat down in the chair. She's like, how would you like your hair? And he's just like, I'd like it this way. He tells her. And she's like, no. And she just starts cutting his hair.
She fucking made him look like Ray Fiennes.
Well, I mean, I do not like haircuts. Like,
I love them. I can't wait to get a new one.
I mean, I like haircuts, but I don't like going and paying somebody $25 to snip some hair off the top of my head. So I just get my wife to do it. And sometimes it literally
Hannah
looks
cuts
like...
hair?
Yeah. No, she cuts my hair.
Sometimes it looks like Simple
Cut my
Jack.
hair.
Sometimes it looks like she put a bowl on my head and cut around it. But I mean, I'm fine with that because I don't care. I'm not trying to impress anybody. She's like, yeah, cut your hair. And I'm like, if you're happy, I don't care.
No, it's better than haircuts.
What's that?
Wrist cuts.
Wrist cuts.
Wrist
That was
cuts.
really
Cut myself.
I can't even... It terrifies
I can't
me.
do it. I can't inflict. I can't even get... Like, that's why if I'm ever going to be diabetic, I'll be fucked because there's no way I'll be able to give myself...
Needles are fine.
I can't do that.
Can't
even do that.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't care about a needle, but I mean, like, you know how that if you go to the store, you can't buy blades? You know, you have to, like, have your ID and they can, like, be like, I don't know if you're okay to buy these things, but, like... I don't know.
Just go buy an X-Acto knife. Like, these
really,
people
fuck
go
that
where you
up,
have to
no
go to buy, like, you can't purchase razor blades. Just fucking
They
get
put
an
the Tide
X-Acto
Pods
knife.
in with the razor blades, though.
Fucking... People really don't want to kill themselves. I can kill myself 4 different ways with stuff in front of me.
We got a coffee cup, an SD card, a pencil, some tape, and a notebook. You could take this pencil, stick it all the way down your throat, and then tape it in there.
I'll just fucking slam my head.
Dude, I think the pencil would break If you slammed your head on that pencil, I think the pencil would break before it would puncture your skull and go into your brain.
No, I put it in like the old fucking...
That wouldn't kill you if it goes through like your cheek.
The back of the neck goes right through the old spinal cord.
Oh yeah, I guess that would kill you.
But don't fucking joke, I'll kill myself right now.
Alright, let me just get the
I'll
camera.
prove you wrong.
Oh, man.
I'll kill myself to win a bet.
So, yeah, recently it was Brander's birthday, and we all went out.
Oh, God.
It was an okay time. Bryan was adamant we get him a dick cake.
Yeah, it was fucking fantastic.
Not him a dick cake, but Brandon a dick cake.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I ate some of it last night.
Fuck. Didn't Brandon say he wanted to tell his story on his birthday? Brandon's got a story to come tell everybody. But he said he wanted to tell on his birthday, but we're doing this too early. He's still asleep.
Yeah. He'll be up around 2.
It is
10:30.
10:30.
3.5 hours ago, boys. Oh, shit. No, good time. You got me fucking wasted on sours.
How can I submit negative service already? I don't really want to make a
Hey guys. This way. Hey guys. Oh my god, that was hot! We didn't know where we would get a dick cake. We were at work, and we were trying to do some last minute research on how to get a dick cake.
Yeah.
And I just went to this bakery here in Vancouver that I like going to. They have awesome baked goods, great cakes.
Did we all just get something?
Brandon's telling us to shut the fuck up.
All three of us.
And we went to this bakery, and Bryan, it was full of people, and we didn't know how to say we wanted to get one of these really fancy cakes with a dick on it. And so they're just like, "What do you want on this cake?" And Bryan's just like,
I was
can't
bashful.
say.
I was blushing at the point where she's like, "What would you like written on the cake?" And I'm just like,
Quick question: do you guys still have some of the cake?
Yeah, do you want
yeah,
some?
You
Yeah,
can.
I want some.
No, but you don't want it. I'm telling you, it's really dried out.
I'm gonna go check it. I'm gonna go check it out. Keep telling the story.
Anyway, he how would you say it, Bryan?
I walked up and I'm like, I can't say it out loud, and she's like, all right, well, whisper it to me, and I'm like, can you put a dick on it? And she's like, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, just.
But the best part of the story is when she goes to talk to the.
She walks out back, and you can see the pastry chef working, and she whispers something to him, and he just looks at us with the biggest, creepiest grin.
Ever.
It was the best.
And then he disappears.
He takes the cake and he disappears, and we're like, why is he not doing this out here where we can see him? We're curious, and it took quite a while. Bryan had time to run to the liquor store.
Yeah, that's disgusting. No, you're right. That
Yeah, I
cake's
told you,
right out.
it's
That's
fucking gross now.
Is it that dried out?
Yeah, it's bad. It's
I was
eating
like
crackers.
I was like, yeah, that's. I was like, I can eat a dried out cake, but that's rough.
That is rough. But yeah, Buddy brought us out the cake, and it was beauts.
Yeah, he built a dick that was coming off the side of the cake. It was 3D. We imagined a 2D drawing and some icing.
Yeah.
Just a dick.
No,
Look at your screen right now.
Yeah, look at it
there
right
it is.
now. A couple of pictures.
Bottom left-hand corner. But it's probably on the right, so just better cover my bases and say it's all on each corner.
We should put it in the middle.
Fuck you guys.
Obviously, you didn't watch the last episode.
I watched it. You guys put it on all those corners I didn't say. You're fucking sabotaging me.
And then
But he, like, molded
we
it.
proceeded to go out that night. We had a good time. They had some drinks. Bryan got fucked up, as he does.
Yeah, well, it's for Brandon's birthday. It's
He went
celebration.
15 days sober.
I did. I went 15 days.
Here's a picture of Bryan. This sums up his night.
There's also another thing I just remembered. Like, I'm still getting parts of the night back. You were like, don't drink this whole sour, right? Don't down it.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's 10%, and I'm like, challenge accepted.
And he finishes off like fucking half a. Well, they couldn't give it in pints because it was 10%.
Yeah.
So they had to give it in whatever.
Did I only have one?
You had one sour, but you had about 4 beers at that place that we were
Yeah,
at.
and I left the house after I had like 8 beer. So I was doing good. I went outside, good, and I was just vaping as I do, and I went to go take a piss out back just because it's faster. So I just went behind the dumpster. There's that little park right beside it, and there was a bunch of fucking people just out crowded around. So obviously there was a drug deal or something, and you could tell who the leader was because he was like everybody was grouped around him, and he was wearing a blanket. Just wearing a blanket. And he's like, why are you pissing behind the dumpster? I'm like, why are you selling drugs in the blanket? Like, what the fuck? You can tell that he has the highest rank there because that motherfucker doesn't even abide by the rules of clothes. He just wears blankets.
Where we were having dinner, last time we were having dinner there, an old woman walked past with no shirt, no bra on, just
Oh,
completely
yeah.
naked
I've seen
from
her
the
a few
waist up.
times.
And Bryan chased her out, not chased her out, but like chased after her.
I couldn't believe it. I'd seen it, but I'd seen her in the summertime too. She just wears like the Hawaiian lays around her boobs.
I can't remember what her name is, but she's one of Vancouver's characters.
Yeah.
I've seen her a lot.
Evan warned me. I was like, I gotta tell Evan. This is when I first moved here, and he's like, he'll never believe this. And he's like, yeah. He wasn't even shocked. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, there's a lady who directs traffic in a tutu. She's got
Yeah,
rollerblades.
it's Roller Girl.
Yeah,
I told him about Roller Girl.
I worked with a guy who lived in the same building as her, and he would like see her every morning, like rollerblading out. I was going to a concert when I was a kid, and we were on the SkyTrain, and she was on the SkyTrain, and a guy coughed, and she lost it on him. You can't cough in public places. And like there was a concert going on, right? So this SkyTrain is like packed. You can't even move. You're shoulder to shoulder with people. And she's probably about 4 people away in this deck of cards of people just screaming at this guy in the SkyTrain. It was wonderful.
I love the SkyTrain.
There's a lot of Vancouver characters. There's Roller Girl. There's the lady over, the topless lady who wanders the streets over there.
Blanket Jesus.
Blanket Jesus.
Not your guy, but there's literally a guy with a huge, big, bushy beard and like long brown hair, and he wears like 30 blankets on him. He's just like a walking blanket torso with a big beard and like long brown hair.
Dumbledore.
No, it's Blanket Jesus.
Blanket Jesus.
And then there's Opera Man. You'll be able to find him around Granville
Does
Island.
he play?
sometimes.
They did this thing where they put a bunch of pianos like everywhere. They just littered Vancouver with pianos so people could just play on the street. Was he playing piano?
I don't know if he plays piano, but he sings opera like a motherfucker. He's
did
really
that in
good.
Nova Scotia,
He just posts up somewhere in the city and just starts singing.
That's
And-
amazing.
Yeah, and there's the lady who has the 2 pugs. She dresses them up like pilots and pushes them around in the stroller.
I have seen that before.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. I saw a video of that. I didn't see that in person.
Yeah,
piano thing like
I think
Fred?
there's a duck lady in the
Probably.
city here.
I mean, ducks are really... You can manipulate ducks pretty easily.
I don't trust fucking ducks.
I'll be watching.
This is one of the people I don't fucking deal with is ducks.
It's ducks?
Fuck these guys.
When I was a kid, a friend of mine, he made a comic book called Ducky Man, and it was a guy who couldn't die. It was kind of like Deadpool.
Okay.
And he would just get he would fight crime, but always get killed, but not actually. He would just get horribly mangled and then be fine the next day. It was pretty messed up. I think he probably still has them.
I made comic books when I was a kid. I actually just showed Bryan some of them for the first time. Super Dude.
It was all about rebelling.
Yeah.
Giving the finger.
Super Dude. When I was a kid, myself and the other kids in the neighborhood, we each drew a character and wanted to make our own Justice League.
Nice.
And so, we all had our individual comics, right? And I drew mine out of gel pens because I had just discovered gel pens.
Gel pens for the shit.
Gel pens.
And so there was this guy named Super Dude, and he wore blue and purple because those are the colors I had, and a white skin tone or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was homeless and he lived in a shed, and his superpowers were he had middle.
He's got a shed. He's not homeless. No.
Yeah, he had middle finger claws. He had middle finger claws, and he fought with them, and they were razor sharp when he did this. And then
he flipped people off.
Yeah, when he flipped people off, he fought with these, and they were indestructible. And he could fight with them. And then when he swore, every time he said a swear word, something nearby would break.
Nice.
And he would use that as a weapon.
That's amazing.
And so he was
an old lady's back.
Yeah, exactly. He was so he was the most vulgar of the superheroes. So he's just
amazing.
what. There's a lot, in the panels you'll see, he's oh, what the fuck is that? When his alarm clock goes off, and it's crash off the camera or whatever.
That's funny.
And he's I'm up, you son of a bitch. Crash. I only made it 3 pages into this. And then it's really funny, too, because I was just going over the first page, and it's him standing in tall grass, I guess. And
that's beautiful.
It says EC Comics and Mr. Jingles Comics, because I just, I'm a big DC fan. So I was just I want to be EC, because I made this up when I was maybe 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And Mr. Jingles, I just created a clown that my brother said because he got that name from the mouse from Green Mile.
Green Mile. Mr. Jingles.
But it's just now now that I'm an adult, I realize you can't have 2 comic companies.
You can only have one.
I was just going crazy.
That's awesome.
Back when I was in university, I'm not the biggest Tolkien fan. I think there are better works of fantasy, and just because he came first doesn't make him the best.
Mm.
With that being said, I think the Lord of the Rings story is pretty great.
Mm.
You know, I just think, in my opinion, there are better ones.
Yeah.
So my friends who are big Tolkien nerds,
Yeah.
they wanted to do the Lord of the Rings challenge, where we watched all 3 extended editions of the movies, and we did all the Hobbit meals in one day.
The Hobbit meals?
Yes, there's like 20 of them in one day.
I don't know what that is.
Hobbit meals.
They were like recipes you can get online. Hobbits eat like...
What about second breakfast? What about elevensies? Luncheon, afternoon tea, dinner, supper. He knows about them, doesn't he?
First breakfast, mid-morning snack, second breakfast, other snack.
How much pound of tobacco did you have to smoke? Because I know those fucking things smoke.
Dude,
I don't think they're smoking tobacco.
It hurt. We were all in pain.
Oh,
like, we ate so much that day. Like we had a big breakfast, and then we're like, oh, we have to eat every meal at the time.
Yeah.
We have to eat it while we're watching these movies, and we had to take little breaks to cook everything, right?
Jeez.
And it was like a full day.
Well, I mean, each movie's 2.5, 3 hours long, plus a special edition, which adds another 40 minutes. So
yeah, it's like 4 hours a movie.
Yeah. I'd say it's a little less than that.
And then you have to factor in the time you cook.
Yeah. You guys didn't take turns? You didn't have like one person go and cook while the rest of you guys watched it and
we
swap
stopped.
it off?
We went and cooked. We got our food. We went back and ate. We hurt at the end of the day. I advise people to not do this.
Give me an idea of what one of the meals would be. I've never heard of this before.
But yeah, give an example of some of the meals you ate.
There was some. We ate like sausages and pancakes, little things that like obviously. Or
Okay, so it was like
And,
realistic food.
It was, yeah, and like some, but it was like more English style because that's Tolkien.
Yorkshire?
English, right? Yeah, well, we did. What did we do? We did. There's something I really enjoyed.
Oh,
beef
one second.
tartare. So here's a list of the Hobbit meals right here. There was breakfast, and then second breakfast, and then brunch, and then elevensies, and then lunch, and then tea, and then afternoon tea, and then
high tea. Oh.
And then dinner. Yeah. Okay.
Supper.
That's fucking nonsense.
Yeah. It's a lot of food.
All right.
It
So
hurts. It's
why we
painful.
talk about middle-aged titles for food?
Middle-aged titles.
Let's get this fucking straight. The way it goes is breakfast, lunch, and supper. That's the way it goes.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
No, supper. Dinner is
No,
lunch.
it's dinner.
Dinner is lunch.
This is an East Coast thing.
Dinner is lunch.
I don't like it.
I'll fucking fist fight you.
I've never adopted it. It's like when I moved to Nova Scotia, people were like, "It's time for supper." I'm like, "What in the fuck is supper?"
Yeah,
it's supper time. It's 5 o'clock, supper time.
Is that like a kid? Like, you know, like a kid's like, supper time?
Yeah, I
feel
know.
like adults use dinner and kids
adult,
use supper.
no,
like you're gonna
and
get
lunch.
stabbed talking
Breakfast,
You want to do our second
lunch,
sex fight?
dinner.
Our second.
I'll fight you.
Yeah,
fucking
second sex fight.
I don't want to fight right now.
Neither do I. My thumb is still fucked from that. That was like a month ago.
I know. I would if it was the nighttime and you were drunker. I would definitely fight you.
I know.
You
Being
boy.
sober for this is like being sober for this isn't that bad. I was worried it would be as chatty. I am fucking still grumpy. My coffee.
Yeah, you're as chatty, but you're not nearly as interesting.
Oh, I know. I feel
boring fuck.
Yeah,
You're boring fuck. You're the only reason we make this, and now you're not even pulling your weight.
We can go get a case right quick.
I'll ruin my fucking drunk.
I'll ruin my fucking day right quick.
I don't want to ruin your day.
Getting them internet,
I don't want to ruin your day for these.
Getting them internet props gonna get Kardashian rich. You know it. That's pretty good.
I thought that was hilarious.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just a recut of a shark on a boat, and a guy climbs out of the water and just drags the shark into the water.
Man, that is a fucking rough scene to watch, even to this day.
That is why I have a fear of sharks. When I was a kid, all these things happened to me because my dad scarred me with Mean Creek and Space Jam and now Jaws. When I was a kid,
Scarred you with Space. Oh yeah, Space Jam.
People, my parents were watching Jaws, and I was in my room, and I came out of my room. And I went into the living room. Like, the way my house was when I was a kid is we had our living room, and then there was a hallway, and my room was right at the very end of the hallway. So I came out of my room, and the couches faced the TV, which faced away from the hallway, so my parents didn't see me, and I came up, and I was standing beside the couch watching Jaws, and the scene that they were watching was the scene when the sailor captain gets eaten.
Mm-hmm.
And all I remember is seeing him, like, thrashing around in the boat, and then he spits out blood, like blood comes out of his mouth and it's all draining down him, and all the boat fills with blood as he's getting shaken around and dragged into the water. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't like blood, because of that when I was a kid, seeing him spit the blood out and it
that bites down on him.
Yeah, and then I'm also fucking terrified of sharks.
You ever spend time out in the ocean?
Yeah, I lived in Australia for a year.
No, I know, but like, were you?
Oh, out on the ocean?
Yeah, like on a boat.
No,
I've gone scallop fishing many times, and in February it's shit fucking work. You have to wake up and go outside, and it's fucking -20, and the wind's blowing, and you're wet all the time. And you have to wake up because there's no bathrooms on the boat, so you
piss off the side of the boat.
Yeah, you piss off the side of the boat first thing in the morning.
What, did you shit off the side of the boat?
No, they usually have buckets, but then they fill them up with water and dump them. It's fucking gross, but yeah.
Feeding the plane.
Yeah, and one morning I went out and took a piss, and I seen a shark, but it was small. But it immediately brings back Jaws.
Yeah.
The moment you see it, you're like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. See, I always thought to myself that in the water, humanity is no longer at the top of the food chain.
No.
When you're in the water, you instantly
the water
drop.
can kill you.
Yeah, we drop a few pegs. So on land, I was like, nothing on land scares me that much compared to stuff in the water. Until where I lived now, not in Vancouver, but at my parents' house, they live right next to a green belt, and there was always cougars. Like during summertime, wintertime, always cougars, and there's like a website dedicated to stuff going on in our neighborhood, and they always put information about cougars. So one night, I lived in Australia for a year. In Australia, it's always hot all the time. It's always warm. Middle of the night, 2:00 in the morning. It's like summertime here, you know. So you could go for a walk at 2:00 in the morning in shorts and a cutoff, and just walk around. And everybody in Australia goes to bed at like 6 p.m. So you have the entire place to yourself.
Why so early?
It's
just their work schedule. I hear they work like 50-hour weeks. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I've heard. They work like 50-hour work.
I don't know. But they go to bed early and they get up early. So I was like, I'm like a night person, right? So I could have the whole place to myself. So when I got back home, I was like, man, I wish going out and just like being out in the streets by yourself, you know? So I decided I was in my backyard at my parents' house, just chilling out. Fucking cougar in the green belt, and it's growling at me. Have you ever heard a cougar growl?
What's her name?
The cougar? Matilda. No.
Don't talk shit about Matilda.
I almost shit my pants. Have you ever almost shit your pants before?
Not from fear.
Closest I've been to death. That was episode 1. I never actually had a story. Holy shit. I always think of everything later. But that, like, I fucking ran. I haven't, like, have you ever run for your life?
No, just fighting. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
You can stand your ground.
I was right next to my house.
Louder? Yeah.
I have the same fucking fear. Like, I'm more comfortable out on the water, obviously, than probably both of you would be.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I've spent more time out there.
It's interesting that it growled at you and it didn't just fuck you up.
Oh, I mean, it probably was young, you know? Like,
I
mean, not a lot of food, kind of close to wintertime, you know, like mother and cubs kind of thing. It was either...
I guarantee you, though, you guys are probably more comfortable around bears and shit than I am.
Oh, yeah.
If I see a black bear, I'm fucking getting in the nearest car.
I'm
scared to death of bears.
I've kissed a black bear.
French kissed.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was at my house, at my parents' house, exact same place. We were in the middle of the day, summertime. We were hanging out. We were actually playing D&D, and he brought his dog, and his dog just started going crazy, just running around going crazy, and we were trying to figure out why. So I went back and I looked over our fence into the greenbelt area, and there was like a massive dog, and I was like, oh, somebody, like, that's weird. Nobody goes back there except for me, and I was like, somebody must be walking their dog there. Nope, big old black bear, just chilling out. Fuck. So his dog was like losing.
That would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, it just like
black bears are fine. Like for the most part.
I don't give a fuck. If it's bigger than me, I don't trust it. I'm fucking scared of cows. I tried to tip one once, and
You tried to what one once?
Tip one. Cow tip.
Oh yeah.
I tried to tip one once, and I wasn't fucking having it.
No.
I was trying to get to the side, and it wasn't. It was like fucking circling. It was wasn't having it.
Cows? Okay, so
cows are cunts.
My dad was a farmer.
Yeah.
For his whole life, for like 35 years of his life, my dad was a farmer, and so cows they won't do something if they don't have the mindset to do it, they won't do it. Like cows won't cross water, or you know how like the cows won't go downstairs. So that's the prank, to bring the cow upstairs, and then it won't go downstairs. If a cow doesn't want to do something, it won't do it. If you're trying to milk, you know, hundreds of cows, and one won't go into the milking. Yeah, that's gross. It's a picture of Evan literally Frenching a bear. If a cow doesn't want to do it, it won't do it. So if you have to milk it and it won't go in the milker, they have these rods, and you have to hit the cow. You know,
you gotta beat it into submission. You gotta beat that milk up.
A cow's hide is thicker than, like, this table makes a cow's hide look like, or a cow's hide makes this table look like a sheet of paper.
Okay.
They're giant heaping pounds of muscle.
Yeah, I know.
You're not supposed to hit it in the face and like kick it in the eye or something, but you give them like whacks on the back of the leg and stuff. They're big fucking sturdy hunks of meat, but they know how to get each other. Like, cows are really nasty, you know, like they get the horn and they'll like dig it up into the sides of other cows and stuff.
Yeah.
They know how to get cows, but like when people are like, oh, animal brutality, you know, it's like, there's kind of some things you have to do. Like if you need to tie a cow to your tractor and drag it somewhere.
I just realized how much humans are fucking assholes. You're like, you know what I'm going to do to you, cow? I'm going to take your tit milk. I'm going to age it. And then I'm going to take chunks of you and put your tit milk on your meat.
All right, look at this, guys. So this is
this kid wrestling a bear.
This is the best UFC lightweight right now. Khabib Nurmagomedov when he was a kid. He's from Kazakhstan, I believe. And he wrestled bears when he was a kid.
Nothing else to play with?
That's amazing.
He mauls people. People in the lightweight division cannot stop him from mauling them. And
this guy's fuck. This guy's murking a bear.
Do you know how much stronger a young bear is than a child? Like a human child? Look at this kid. He's fucking this bear up.
That's insane. Yeah, bears are all muscle. Kids are all
I want to wrestle that bear.
Kids are all candy.
No, when you were that kid's age, man, that bear would mess me up.
Yeah, I would have been dead.
So this is him when he was a child.
This fucking kid is amazing. Where the fuck is his parents?
They're there. His father's the one who arranged it.
That poor bear. Is that bear on a chain?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sad.
That's not even fair then. Fuck that. I hope this kid gets bit in the jugular.
Yeah. Let's see. He's not actually hurting the bear. There's no way this child could hurt the bear.
No,
the bear's
but
just
still.
like, oh, we're playing. All right.
Yeah.
He actually went for him.
Yeah.
So, thanks for listening to this week's episode of, the Okayest Show Around podcast. Bryan, where can they find us?
You can email us at Bleach for Bryan. Not Bryan for Bleach. Bleach for Bryan.
Yeah,
Bleach for Bryan.
where? At
Vancouver. You're
Jesus
so
Christ.
pissed off. I knew I'd do it.
You can reach us at bleachforbryan@gmail.com.
Or Hotmail. One of them is correct.
Yeah, it's the Gmail. Cole, where can they find us on Twitter?
Fuck, I don't know.
I can't remember our Twitter.
Oh my
I can't
god.
remember Twitter either.
You guys. Yeah, okay. You can reach us at Twitter at OKPod. At OKPod.
At OKPod. See, I
At
fucking nailed it. I'm just going to cut you out and keep me. You can find us at okpod.com. I need to get paid way more. If this is a 33 split, I get the... Oh, fuck. I guess you could do 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
50-50.
That's 33.
I can't say that, though. That's not mine to say.
You take your 33 and a third.
How about I get 66% and then you guys split the remaining 33%?
Only if the liquor comes out of yours.
Deal.
I get the other 66% half.
So we're doing some big Papa Pump math right now. I get 66%. Evan gets 66%.
I'm so infuriated.
Bryan gets 33%.
Yeah. That's how much we put into the podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Bryan has something to tell you.
Drink. Oh, well, fuck yeah. I'm gonna go for a vape. Fuck you, boys.
And she's loved the world over. She's Pippi Longstocking.
Loves trees and rolling seas, and the mountains please her more than toys do.
Welcome pigtails, freckles, and fun.
Well done, Mr. Nielsen.
Welcome to the new adventures of Pippi Longstocking. She's coming to your town this summer.
Bye.